Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're looking into a really fascinating story
Yeah.
about alternative living, like resourcefulness and
hmm
kind of adapting to some tough economic realities.
Yeah. It's like car living, but
Yeah,
not the typical van life we see all over Instagram these
right,
days.
exactly. We're going deep into the world of Z Desire,
That's right.
who lives full-time in her 2002 Chevy Cavalier
In New Jersey.
in New Jersey. Can you imagine?
And she's documenting the whole thing on YouTube.
Yeah, so we've got her videos and some articles we found about the rising cost of living.
Some forum discussions, too, about,
Oh,
the
yeah.
practicalities and just like the psychology
No,
of
definitely.
small space living.
So we're going to unpack her story, how she DIYs her daily life, and like the real financial side of this choice.
It's a really unique perspective
Oh, yeah.
on how some people are not just surviving, but like,
Thriving?
yeah, thriving in a system that can feel really stacked against them.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into this. Z Desire didn't just one day wake up and go car living.
Right.
She had a really rough childhood, like in foster care.
Yeah.
And that like really instilled this sense of adaptability in her.
Makes sense.
And then rent increases made her apartment just totally unaffordable.
And that's something a lot of people in New Jersey know all about.
Totally. Especially near Atlantic City where she is.
Oh, for sure. We looked at some data, and the median rent in Atlantic City is over $1,400 a month.
Wow.
So like Z Desire's story,
Yeah.
it's a real example of the housing crisis and how it's forcing people into tough situations.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
She's not just getting by.
Yeah.
She's embracing this whole thing. Like in her video, she walks us through her entire day.
Right.
From hygiene in a car to taking care of her cat. Oh, and get this.
What?
She built a whole platform bed in the back.
I mean, building a bed in a car that small?
I know.
Oh.
It's impressive.
Talk about resourceful. Totally. And she's so focused on optimizing every inch of that space.
Yeah.
Like she's not letting those limitations define her life.
Exactly. It's like she's shaping her own environment.
Right. And that to me says a lot about her mindset.
It does. She's not just like, oh, well, this is my life now. She's actively problem solving.
Oh, boy.
And her DIY skills.
Amazing.
She even got free plywood from Lowe's.
Wait, really?
Yeah. They apparently give away those scrap pieces that come between flooring shipments.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, so she used those, some L brackets, a 2x4, and boom.
There you go.
Sturdy bed base. And then she topped it with foam and covered it with a blanket.
Nice.
Oh, and she even used the carpet from her trunk to cover where the seats were.
So smart.
That kind of ingenuity is inspiring.
It is. It's a reminder that there are like hidden resources everywhere.
Totally.
If you know where to look.
Yeah. And you know what else is cool?
What?
She did this whole bed thing without permanently altering the car.
Oh, the no-build approach.
Yeah. So she could put the seats back in, sell it if she needed to.
That's really smart. Thinking ahead.
Exactly. And speaking of clever use of space, she lives with her cat.
Whoa. Okay, that's got to be one of the bigger challenges of car living, right?
Oh, for sure.
Sharing such a tiny space with another being
I know.
takes a lot of planning
Yeah.
and adjustment.
But it seems to be working for them.
It does.
Mm.
And she even has a portable toilet, for privacy.
Oh.
She takes it to car washes to use it.
Oh, that's smart.
I'm curious about the psychology of it all, though. Like, how do you maintain a sense of normalcy
I know what you mean.
in such a unique environment?
That is a great point. I remember when I had to downsize to a tiny studio.
Oh, yeah.
It was tough. But like focusing on organization and having designated areas for stuff
Yeah.
really helped. I can only imagine how important that is for Z Desire.
Especially with a cat.
Yeah,
It's not just about the practicality. It's mental well-being, too.
exactly. That
Yeah.
sense of order can be so grounding when your whole living space is always changing.
And it's interesting how limitations can sometimes spark creativity
Totally.
and resourcefulness.
When she's thriving on it.
She is. And she even cooks in her car.
I know. Using portable appliances and a power bank.
Which brings us to the financial side of things.
Yeah.
She breaks down her monthly expenses in the video,
Yeah.
and
Pretty surprising.
it is super low compared to average rent in her area.
I know.
Big benefit of car living, for sure. But, important to remember, it's not all sunshine and roses.
Right. There are trade-offs.
That's nice.
She does mention relying on government assistance for her phone bill and uses Planet Fitness for showers.
Right.
But still, she's putting together a whole sustainable way of life
She is.
that lets her do what she loves.
Yeah, and that's key. She's not just scraping by, she's working toward goals.
Absolutely.
She talks about wanting to travel the country and even mentions a possible dog grooming job.
Yeah, in California.
Yeah. So she's using this as a springboard to a future she's actually excited about.
Okay, so she's got the living space figured out, the routines, but like,
Yeah.
how does she manage all the logistics?
Right.
Like, where does she keep all her stuff?
Good question.
How does she cook?
Yeah.
And the bathroom situation.
Okay, so this is where her resourcefulness really shines. She is organized.
Yeah.
Like every inch is used efficiently. So let's start with storage. She actually has a 5x10 storage unit
Oh, wow.
for things she doesn't need every day, like carpets for a future schoolie build.
What's a schoolie?
Oh, it's like a converted school bus. People turn them into tiny homes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so she's got those, a mini fridge, and other stuff she's collecting for when she eventually gets a bigger space.
So she's thinking ahead.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But what about the things she needs in the car every day? A Cavalier isn't exactly huge.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
But we see in the video she's got clothes, cooking stuff, things for her cat.
Right.
It's like organization as an art form. She has this shelf
Oh.
that she built. Same plywood from Lowe's.
Oh, wow.
Keeps her food, seasonings, even a little blender that charges with USB.
No way.
Yeah, committed to healthy eating even on the road. And then she's got bins for her clothes, her cat's litter box, all the necessities. Even stores shoes where the spare tire would go.
You've got to be kidding.
It's amazing.
It is. Now, what about this cooking setup with the power bank? I'm intrigued.
Okay, so it's a 600-watt power bank.
Okay.
She got it on sale for $174 during Black Friday.
Nice.
You know, got to know how to find those deals,
For sure.
especially if you're living minimally. And it has all these inputs and outputs so she can charge it,
Yeah.
use her kettle, and power her crock pot all at the same time.
Whoa. It's a lot.
Multitasking. And she even uses the light on the power bank for like extra light in the car.
That's so smart. Okay, so she's really thought this through.
Oh, yeah.
But she's doing this all in New Jersey,
Right.
where winters can be brutal.
Yeah, how does she handle that? Okay, so more DIY skills coming in clutch. She uses Reflectix insulation on the windows,
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that stuff.
layers blankets, and uses a warming blanket strategically.
Smart.
But it's not just about the physical stuff. She talks about waking up to snow on the windshield,
Oh, wow.
but being warm and cozy inside.
That sounds kind of magical.
It does. A unique perspective on finding comfort in unusual settings.
It really makes you think about what we consider comfortable, you know,
Totally.
and like our ideas about happiness.
Yeah. And she's not just surviving winter, she's finding beauty in it.
I love that. Speaking of challenges, though, she's also open about living with IBS,
Oh, wow.
which adds a whole other layer of complexity to this.
It does. That's not something we often hear about
Right?
in these conversations about alternative living.
Yeah, and it makes the portable toilet even more essential.
Absolutely. For her comfort and just to avoid accidents.
It's a reminder that even in unconventional situations,
Yeah.
basic needs are still a priority.
For sure. So it's a side of car living we don't often see.
Right.
And she's determined to make it work. Adapting, problem solving through it all.
She's not just surviving, she's thriving.
She really is. Now I'm curious to look closer at the financial side.
Yeah, let's do it.
She mentioned needing government assistance and using places like Planet Fitness.
So how is she managing her money day to day?
That's a great question. Let's dive into the nitty-gritty of car living finances and see how she makes it work on a limited budget.
Yeah. Let's break it down.
It's a fascinating look at how she's making this lifestyle sustainable and maybe even some lessons for all of us.
Right, no matter where we live.
Exactly.
Oh.
Okay, so let's talk money,
Yeah, the numbers.
right? The Desire lays it all out in her video.
And it's kind of wild how little she spends.
It is, especially compared to rent, especially in New Jersey.
Right, so what's her biggest expense?
Car insurance. $74 a month through Good to Go.
Oh, okay.
She went with liability coverage only, which...
Yeah, makes sense for an older car like hers.
Exactly. And her storage unit.
Yeah, that 5x10 she mentioned?
$45 a month for that,
Not bad.
especially if she shopped around a bit. It's cool that she's storing stuff for a future schoolie, you know?
Like she's really planning ahead.
Yeah. Using car living is a step towards something bigger.
I like that. What about Planet Fitness?
$10 a month.
Wow, that's a steal.
Right. Gives her showers and place to work out.
Essential when you live in a car.
And her phone bill is covered by government assistance right now.
So all in all, her monthly expenses are crazy low.
They are. Huge financial advantage of car living, for sure.
But we gotta remember, it's not a perfect solution.
No way. There are compromises for sure.
Like what?
Well, she's limited in what she can cook.
It's true.
Has to be super careful with energy usage.
Yeah.
And it takes constant planning, resourcefulness,
Definitely not for everyone.
but it's working for her.
And it lets her save money, go after those dreams.
Yeah. Speaking of which, she talks about wanting to travel, maybe even has a dog grooming job lined up.
Oh, yeah, in
Yeah.
California.
California. She's turning this situation into a launch pad for growth, exploration.
It really makes you think about what success even means.
It does. She's finding fulfillment outside of the house, the 9 to 5.
Yeah, on her own terms.
It's pretty amazing.
It highlights that trend of people embracing minimalism,
Totally.
alternative living, whether it's necessity or choice.
Yeah. People are challenging the status quo, finding ways to live a good life that maybe look a little different.
It makes me wonder if we could all benefit from that mindset.
What do you mean?
Like, even if we're not living in a car, could simplifying,
Oh, yeah.
downsizing lead to more freedom, happiness?
I think it's worth exploring for sure.
Yeah.
Letting go of stuff,
Yeah.
focusing on what matters.
Could free up so much time, money, energy,
It's not about deprivation, it's about intentionality.
choosing what brings us joy,
Z Desires found a way to do that.
even in a car.
She's not just making it work, she's thriving.
And always with that smile.
Her attitude is so inspiring.
Isn't it? It's like a reminder that even when things are hard,
Yeah.
we have the power to choose how we see things,
She's focused on the good, the opportunities,
the beauty around her.
and it's allowed her to build a meaningful, fulfilling life.
This brings up another good point. Her story shows the power of community.
Oh, definitely.
She talks about connecting with other nomads online, building that support system.
Even though she's in a car,
Yeah, she's not isolated.
human connection is essential no matter how you live.
Absolutely.
And technology is making it easier than ever.
Right, like online groups, social media,
People find their tribe even when they're miles apart.
like a modern-day nomadic community,
Exactly.
sharing those values, experiences.
And it's not just online. Z Desire wants to meet her viewers in person, too.
Oh, wow.
It's cool how she's using her platform to build real-world connections, too.
Yeah, and it speaks volumes about the power of sharing our stories.
For sure.
Like, by being open, vulnerable, Z Desire connects with others, but also breaks down stigmas, challenges what people think is possible,
Totally. It normalizes these alternative ways of living,
shows there's more than one path to happiness,
that we all have different needs,
different dreams.
different ways of defining success.
And that's okay.
It's about finding what works for you.
Living authentically.
So we've talked DIY, finances, future goals.
The community aspect.
But her attitude keeps coming back to me.
I know, right? Facing these challenges head on.
With a smile.
It's incredible.
It's like she's chosen to find the good in everything.
What if we all tried to cultivate that a little more?
That optimism, that resilience.
It's not about ignoring the tough stuff.
No.
It's about how we react to it.
Z Desire is a reminder that we always have a choice in how we see things.
We can focus on the negative, or we can look for the silver lining.
And that choice can completely change how we experience life. It's about those little joys.
Even if they're happening in the back of a Chevy Cavalier.
Exactly. Happiness isn't a finish line, it's the whole journey.
Embracing the ups and downs.
Connecting with people along the way.
Z Desire's story is so powerful.
It is.
Proof that we can adapt, overcome, find joy in unexpected places.
A reminder that we're capable of more than we think.
That even when it's tough, we can choose to thrive.
It's a call to action,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
To challenge what we believe.
Yeah.
Embrace what makes us different. Build a world where everyone has the chance to live a meaningful life.
A fulfilling life.
And a reminder that the most inspiring stories often come from
Yeah.
the most unexpected places.
It's amazing how she's like flipped the script.
Yeah.
Turned this tough situation into a chance to grow, learn about herself.
It really changes how we think about home, what it means to be successful.
Oh, for sure. She's figured out how to live a good life on her own terms, and that's inspiring.
It brings up a question, though. Could downsizing, going minimalist,
Yeah.
be a path to more freedom, happiness, even for those of us who aren't struggling financially?
You know, I've been thinking about that a lot during this whole deep dive.
Yeah.
It's like, are we weighing ourselves down with too much stuff, too many commitments?
There's something to be said for simplifying, getting back to basics.
Focusing on what truly matters.
It's not about having nothing, it's about being intentional,
Yeah, making choices that align with what we want.
creating space for the things that bring joy.
And Z Desire's doing that even in a car,
She's not just getting by, she's thriving.
with a smile on her face.
That attitude is infectious.
It really is. Reminds us that even when things are hard,